StreamYard has lost access to your Facebook account. Don't worry, we've got you covered. Click here to reconnect. Really? Um, Hold on a second. I need to see, like, hold on a second. Shante Washington. Today we'll be talking about, oops, I didn't mean that. Okay, so We're live. I'm trying to go live and I'm already live. Okay. So, um, today, I'm hoping that, okay. Okay. So today we will be talking about, the topic of the day is it coming to past, P-A-S-T, or is it coming to pass, P-A-S-S, pass. So, let's get right on into the topic. Stay tuned after this. So you have entered into the freedom of the night, the freedom from the night, the tales of the supernatural. And you are listening to your host, Shantae Washington. And we have some good breaking news over here. And like I always say, it is official. It is official. It is officially crazy. It's okay to be crazy. It's officially okay to be crazy over here in Christ. Okay? Not none of the embodied crazy, but it's officially okay to be crazy over here with the darkness being removed in Christ. His spirit is good. His scripture his scripture is good. Everything everything is good. It is good. All is well with the Lord, okay? All is well with the Lord. Oh my God. Okay. That's enough of that. So, um, so I just wanted to talk about, um, is it coming to pass, or is it coming to pass? Is it coming to past, P-A-S-T, or is it coming to pass, P-A-S-S? Is it? A lot of times we think that while we're walking and we're doing things every day, that's causing it to come to pass, right? But at the same time, our speech is different, and the way we think, our thoughts get in the way, and and so on and so forth. Is it really that we're walking according to what the Bible say, or are we walking according to what the world tells us it is? And the world normally keeps us stuck in our past because they show us history. They always say history in the making. They always say that. They always say history in the making. Every single time they always say that. So, but the Father says that it is to come to pass. Pass, P-A-S-S. Everything is to come to pass, P-A-S-S, okay? So, which one are we to believe? Totally, like, which one are we to believe? Are we to believe that it is to come to pass, P-A-S-T, or are we to believe that it is coming to pass, P-A-S-S, according to the Bible, and past, P-A-S-T, according to the world? The world leaves us looking into our past every single time when we go to school. Once we go to school, we explore with them through different books about our past every time. It's like a non-stop of reminiscing over the past and going back to the past, and also looking at the outside, and it reminds you of your past. Every time you look around, every time you go outside and you look around, you see it. You see it. You hear about it from different people who have not moved on, but they feel as though they have moved on. They act as though they have moved on, and not necessarily act, but they move in their steps like they moved on, and they really have not. They really haven't. Um, because their words will throw you off just like that. It's just like when a person, if they, like, say for instance, someone likes your energy, and they like your energy, but then once they get to know you and they come alongside of you, they notice something is off a little bit. And that thing that they notice is off a little bit is that you're stuck in your past. Okay? Your words, your walk is like you're moving forward. But when they put themselves alongside you, um, it's a past thing. PAST. It's not something PASS. It's not you're not walking in that way when they're alongside you. And that's a lot of things that we have to learn how to do, is to walk in past, PASS, versus walking in past, PAST. And some people that attach themselves to you, you could be walking in PASS, and then they could be walking in PAST as soon as they get attached to you. But they was making all the right movements before meeting you. I mean, not meeting you, but before standing alongside you to walk the journey. They was When they were trying to get to know you, they could have been presuming the position like they was walking in PASS. But in return, when they got next to you, it just all flipped out and they started to walk in PAST, which is this is called discerning, okay? Discerning. Everything I talk about is for you to learn discernment, because that's why I name my stuff the what I name it, because everything has a opposite, okay? Everything has an opposite. Everything, the points that I make, those could be the opposite. You know, it has the opposite called discernment. Okay, you have the truth, and then you have the lie. Okay, you have the truth, and then you have the lie. And a lot of people believe for the lie. They're not conscious of what they're saying. They're not they're not conscious of what they're doing. But as soon as you make a comment in the midst of their walk, because it's all about the walk. I know they say the action, but it's not necessarily the action. It's all in about the walk, because you're walking, you're not acting. You're walking, okay? You're not acting because you're being for real. So when you're walking, that is what it's all about. It's about the walk. So every step that you take, remember in the Bible it says that every step you take is numbered. So it's about the walk, not the act, because anybody can put on the act. Anybody can put on the act. Um, I know that's a word, but at the same time, it has nothing to do with the way a person acts. You cannot discern anything if you use certain words. Certain words will throw you off every single time. And then you'll be put in the position of being stubborn. Okay, because certain words put you in the position of being stubborn, and you can't get out of that word because you're stuck in that word. And act is one of them. The word act is one of them. It causes you to stay stuck in sight versus going in to spirit to discern what's going on before you. And and we have to be able to discern between somebody walking in their past, PAST, or someone walking in past, PASS, according to the Bible, okay? And PAST, according to the world, past, because that's all the world can teach us is sight. It's sight words, okay? When you first started off, you had to learn your sight words, and before you started kindergarten, you had to learn your sight words, or else they would, or else when you get into school, you will be taught vocabulary. Okay, you'll have to be taught vocabulary words. Okay, so so before you started school, you learned your sight words, and then when you went into school, if you didn't know your sight words, you was learning the vocabulary words out of the book. Okay, and you had to go through that journey of reading their books and everything that they had presented to you versus um, um, reading the Bible. And most likely, if you're reading someone else's books, that book will get in the way. I'm telling you this. That book will get in the way for evil against the Bible. You won't really have as much time with the Bible to read it, to understand it, to get word from God and stuff like that. If you're in another book, like I'm serious. I mean, it seems like it would be seeming like you know you're actually in the book, you're doing good, but it really conflicts with the Bible. Like what you're reading conflicts with the Bible, and I'm serious. If your focus is not only on the Bible and you get the word in from the Bible, I'm telling you, this is true. You will have a conflict with the Bible in that book. Okay. Oh, my nose is itching. So you need to know that this is very important. Now, they're just like, say for instance, if you studying is the same thing as you having to read the book, right? You have to read the book in order to study. But in school, I didn't even study much. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't study much. I studied one time, and I read their little book one time, and then I didn't read it no more. And I passed the test just like that. I didn't study for the weeks they give you. I ain't study for the days that they give you. Even if they gave us a test in the next day and they had us to read it, I didn't read the book. Okay? And I passed the next day. So if we had a next day test, I had to have space enough to to really to really give the answer. So I was always opposite. Okay, I was always opposite, but then I always made an A on the test. I don't ask me how, but it just always happened like that for me. Even in college, I still always did things, incorporated things into the mix, even in college, and had other people copying off my stuff, and the teacher was like, yeah, we can actually do that. So I was always trying to upgrade different stuff when we did things. When I was connected to something, I would always come up with an idea after an idea and stuff like that. But um, but I do know the thing that I do lack, and that is um interaction. Okay, so My toughest point is engagement, interaction, and stuff like that. I can come up with different things, but it doesn't mean that the opposite of me is the engagement and interaction. I do have situations with that because um, I'm used to being what they call an introvert. Okay, that's what they call an introvert because I'm mostly to myself. Yeah, and the only people that I was around was family. That's pretty much it. Just basically around family. And if I was in a relationship, I was always around that person. And if I wasn't around them, I was around my family. So I was either or. Okay. So it was just mainly introvert. I I didn't do as much. I didn't do as much. But back to the subject at hand. But that has something to do with the subject too. But I'm just saying that in general, to as to why I can come up with different things, but once I'm attached to it, I just come up with stuff. But when I'm distance, it's hard to interact. It's hard to do different things for me in engagement. Those are my flaws. Okay, those are my flaws. But I'm working on those things anyway. Okay. And when I had interaction on Facebook, um, when I had interaction on Facebook, I got scared a little bit, so I pulled back a little bit and didn't come on for days and days and days. Then I came back on. It's kind of tough for me, so hey, I'm working through it. I'm working through it. Okay. And now I'm starting all over again. But it's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with starting over again. So that's me reliving my past, right? So that's my conversation of me reliving my past because I can relive my past uh, over and over and over and over and over again, anytime. But to come to pass, meaning that you're walking, because it's not about an act, it's about a walk and your steps. It's about your steps, okay? Your steps, which is your walk. But we're going to say steps according to the Bible. It's about your steps. So let's just say that you're stepping, okay? And you're stepping, and every step that you make, you are walking, you are stepping into your past to discern this situation. Um, the discernment between past and past. If you're walking, let's say you're walking, not acting, because you're not putting no act in place, period. That's which is why that's the wrong word to say when you're talking. But in English language, that's the word that they go to. That's the go-to word, act. Just because you walking and you stepping, that means you're acting. But that's not true. That's the wrong word to say, to associate to what's reality. And then that again, that clouds up your reality and makes you think that it makes you look at a person outburst versus their actual walk. Okay. When you use that word act, it makes you look at that person's outburst, the outburst that's coming from their flesh versus being calm and going in. You understand what I'm saying? Like when somebody say you are to look at how they act, that causes you, another individual, to go off of their outbursts because they outbursts is their acts because it's not real, it's fake. Okay. So their outburst is their acts, but you are to look at the person's steps. The steps will keep you calm. Seriously. their steps are numbered. So if you look at their steps, that will keep you calm and allow you to make a step in judgment of them, so that you, in the right judgment of them, so that you can either make a move out the way, or you can either make a move with them. You understand? So you have stepping stones, because God said that you know it's he's the rock, right? So it's like it's like you have stepping I can't say stones, but stepping, you're basically stepping in the rock. Okay, you're stepping in the rock and you're moving forward, and you're trying to, you're moving, you're stepping, you're walking. Those are the best words that you can use to keep you at peace within. Because if you look at that word act, I'm just saying, if you look at that word act, if you look at the word act, you'll notice. I mean, well, if you sit back and you look at the word act, you'll notice that what you're looking at is that person's outburst. And the outburst is the fake version of them. And if you keep reacting to the fake person of them, you're never going to get any discernment. You're just going to keep on reacting to their acting. And that's emotional disturbances. Okay, which is what I talk about all the time. Emotional disturbance. Okay, so you don't want to look at the emotional disturbance, because that'll cause you to be emotionally unstable, if you get what I'm saying. So living you're living, not acting. Okay, so when you looking at a person acts, you looking at their outburst. But if you're looking at the way they're living, you're looking at their walk. Got me? Again, if you're looking at how a person acts, then you're looking at their outburst, which is, God says that a person is not supposed to be with outburst. Okay. According to the Bible, a person is not supposed to be with outburst. But if you're looking at the outburst, if you're looking at their acting, then you're looking at their outburst, and that means you're looking at something that is false. So the correct word would be looking at the way they're living. And living doesn't entitle if they have a car or not, or if they have jewelry on or not, or if they have the certain type of the appearance that you're looking for. Appearance would be the correct word, okay? So it wouldn't have anything to do with their appearance if you're wanting to look at how they're living. Their walk is what you're to look at as their living. Appearance is considered an outburst word because it's an act. Because back in the garden, Adam and Eve didn't have on no clothes. Okay. They have nothing on. So nothing was for nothing. Okay. No makeup, no nothing. Nothing. They didn't even know they was even in skin. Okay. They knew nothing about their flesh. Nothing. God put his spirit in them and they was walking in that spirit, even though people keep saying how they're human. Okay, even though they was human, they walked in that spirit. And it is a way to walk in your spirit. You can walk in your spirit. Okay. So a living is not an act. A living is not an appearance. A living is your steps, the steps that you make. And the steps that you make don't have to be the steps according to other people around you. You are to look at your steps and where you stepping at. Are you stepping in dirt? Because if you're stepping in dirt spiritually, that means you almost one step close to the grave. Okay? You one step close to being in the grave, meaning up under the dirt. If you're stepping in dirt spiritually, and this is for if you want an interpretation of a dream, I speak for interpretations of dreams too. I just speak it through. I don't be like interpreting dreams or anything, but I speak it through, and it should be like bringing up an interpretation of that dream. But overall, if you're stepping in dirt in your dream, in a vision, you are stepping one foot underneath the ground, underneath that dirt, meaning grave. So that means you also have no foundation, no base. So you have to get the Holy Spirit. You gotta have Jesus. You need Jesus because you are playing God over your life. Okay? You are playing God over your life and not Jesus. And you are leading yourself your own way. You are walking in your own path, which means that if you're walking in it, you're living in your own way. You're going your own way. You going your own way. And you're not going in the way of God. Okay? Meaning that God is not what you're living in. You're not living for that. Okay, you're not walking, you're not taking your steps towards the way God is directing you to go in. Straight up stomach, growling stomach, growling stomach. Must don't like what I'm saying. Stomach don't like what I'm saying right now. Anyway, so yes, shut up stomach. I'm praying ain't nobody hear my little stomach growling. So if you're living it versus it's coming to pass, every day the past comes, okay? And it comes through many people and their words, their deeds, and their thinking, the way they think, their thoughts, patterns. So everything is all if you're living it versus it coming to pass, every day the past comes. Every day the past comes. And it comes at you through the walk of through your walk, the way in which you're walking, or through a person coming in contact with you, meaning the way that person came and walked in front of you, okay, and came right there in face to face. So that person walking towards you could be like a shadow, could be in could just be their false self. Okay, but even so even if they are walking as their false self coming before you, you are to be able to discern if they're walking in their past self, P-A-S-T, or if they're walking in past, P-A-S-S, meaning that they ain't gonna stay stuck there alone. They just coming through. They just walking through, doing the will of the Lord. They just walking through. Okay. And that's almost like walking through time. That's walking through time because time is not an issue for them. But time is an issue for a person who walks in their past because they still stuck there. And it's like, okay, every time, it's like, oh, 1 minute just passed. Oh my goodness. 2 minutes just passed. It's like they just stuck on every minute, every second, every hour, every day, every week, every year. every holiday. They just stuck in everything that comes, and they celebrate these days in different ways. Like they celebrate it, but they like soon as the rain come, they notice the rain. That's not discernment. That's not discerning. That's an every outburst. You looking at every outburst from the world, every outburst from the person, every outburst from a dog. That is fear, but it is fear of the world. You placing yourself in fear of the world, and you're like, man, oh, it's raining today. I can't believe it's raining today. And then you're looking up at the clouds and like, ooh, do you see that cloud? Do you see that it is just looking really bad? I mean, you just all in the past. You're just walking in the past of things, meaning you stuck. Walking in the past, P-A-S-T, is only a living. And that means you living in that time frame right there, and you're stuck in that time frame. So when the next time comes, you paying attention to the next time. You like, oh my goodness, it's 2 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock. Oh my goodness. So it's like you're just stuck in the past because everything that come to pass, P-A-S-T, you're watching. You're watching for it. And that is not what you are supposed to be watching for. God didn't never say for us to watch the past. He said we are to be keeping watch out. Watch out. We are to be keeping watch out, not to keep watch over past. P-A-S-T. So everything that comes past our way, we are to be looking at the outburst of it. It's gonna rain. Okay, it's gonna rain. It's gonna storm. It's going to flood. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. Those who are coming to pass, P-A-S-S, understand that these things are. These this the outburst of the world, that this stuff is going to happen. They already know that. They're not even talking about it. They're not even reliving it as though it's still there. They're not doing that. They're in past, meaning they're walking through time with no problem. They here, but really they over there. They present here. They present right here, and in the next minute, oh, they right there. It's like they everywhere. Okay. A person in past, they everywhere. They present, they past, they present, and they future. When a person is living in PASS, I'm telling you right now, they past, present, and they future. So they over there, here, and there. Okay, so they in three places. They in three places at once, taking care of business. And according it's a verse in the Bible that where the Father says that he was and is to come. God said that in the Bible, where he was and he is to come. So that's past, present, and future. So a person living in past, PASS, they are in tune with that Bible verse. It means it makes that truth. That makes them truth. It's nothing spooky or weird about it. It's truth according to the Bible. They're living according to the Bible, not the world, but they're living in past, present, and their future. Like one day when I was present and I was talking about being present, I saw my future self, and I was looking over and I was like, what is that? Because I can see in visions. I can see in a vision. Okay, I can point blank period at any time that the Father gives it to me. Okay, in the words that I speak, if it's going in the wrong direction, I'll know. If it's going in the right direction, I'll know, the stuff like that. Okay, so, and it's all about being open to that. But I and then you can begin to hear what you need to hear. Okay, you'll be able to hear that stuff, and you'll be able to walk it and talk it at the same time. You'll be able to do what you're supposed to do. But but like one day I was talking about coming, like I was talking about a certain specific, being present, the subject, being the subject of being present. And I saw my future self present over there. Like I saw her. And it's nothing weird about that. It's nothing spooky about that. I see things all the time, so that wasn't spooky. Okay? But it gets spooky. So you have to get ready for certain things. Okay? It gets spooky, so you got to get ready for certain things. You can't always just stay in his sight all the time. Like, you got to go behind there and see the things. Like you just can't always be talking about it. You really got to be living it. The people always talking about oh, you got to be living this thing. You got to be living it. And their living it is that you got to make the money. You got to show the people that you're making this money. And then that's how you living it. No, 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 no. It's people um that doing the same thing, but they ain't doing it like you doing it, but they still living it. They still living this thing. That would be me. I'm still living this thing. It doesn't matter if you add to me or you take away from me. I'm still living this thing. I don't care what nobody says about what is making a person be in a position of living something. I don't care about your grind. I don't care nothing about none of that. Only thing I care about is that I am living this thing. I have nothing to prove to anybody, but I will take my time so that the Father can feed me. I don't want to be rushed into nothing. I want to take my time into this because every step that I make counts. You understand? Every step I make counts, and I want to see it all. Whatever God showed me, I want to see it all. I don't want to skip nothing. I don't know about nobody else. You want to skip, but I don't want to skip anything. I want to enjoy this. So with or without any engagement or stuff like that, of people feeling like I got to do this extra stuff to be engaging with them, I don't know. I ain't got to that point yet where the Father has said that that's really something, because he ain't said that that's something. That's something to the world, but I ain't got to that point yet. I want to experience everything that God has for me. Okay, every single day. I want to experience that. Engagement will come. People will come. The more and more that I keep giving consistency, because I haven't been consistent in this uh face to face on the camera thing. Okay, I haven't been consistent on that. But the more and more I do this, the more and more I learn each and every day. And I might start doing this. I'm trying to free up my things around me in my life so that I can be able to do this 5 days a week and start learning the ins and outs of what is technology. Because again, I have a lot to say and I have a lot to give. Okay. So it's just that I gotta do it in secrets. I can't just give it all to you. I can't do that. But I do got a lot to give. Okay. But anyway, again, living every day in your past is just PAST is living every day in outbursts. Okay, you easily angered, you frustrated, you focused on every little thing, which is the TV not working or the refrigerator not working, and you respond in such an emotionally unstable way. The bills not paid, the girl not wearing what you want her to wear. She's not presenting herself a certain way to your family. Your family don't like her, uh, or him, or your kids ain't the way you want them to be. They don't talk the way you want them to talk. They don't. It all of this stuff is just acts. This is just outbursts, and you're looking for outbursts, which is what I said last week about the hitting. You just hitting. You just consistently hitting. You at a standstill because you consistently hitting. It's like you're bumping your head when you're hitting somebody. You want them to be in their flesh so badly so you can see it. You want to see that. You want to see the outburst from them. You don't want that blind love because you can't see blind love. Blind love, you can't see. And you got to go in your heart. You got to lead your own heart. Your heart can't lead you in order for you to go in, to blind love. So blind love is so much different than the love you see with these two eyes because you're consistently either beating it or you getting with a person that you know that's giving it. Okay. And then that's when you feel like, oh, you feel like you really done found the right one because this person is just really stuck in their past. They won't even let the past go. PAST. And you stuck in your past, so you like, oh man, this girl, this man, they they is just woo, they is good. But in reality, it's it's all things that's to do with past, PAST, and ain't nothing coming to pass, which is why on down the line, both will die. They both will die at some point. They will die spiritually and then they will die physically. And nothing ever came to pass. It came to pass like y'all probably did some great things together. Like y'all probably uh she finished school, you finished your schooling, they did all past PAST things. Okay. Those are the outbursts of the world. But nothing never happened spiritually going in. Nothing. So you're living, you're not living. You're basically dead. Okay? So when I say living, I'm talking about the discernment of it, meaning the living and the dead. Okay? So when you're living in the past, PAST, you're in the dead. You're dead. You're dead to living. But when you're living in the PASS, you're living. You're living to live. Okay? You're not living to die, like everybody else say, because they're stuck in their past and everything that they do on the face of this earth, like it's like somebody owed them something. And it becomes like a whole pity party amongst everybody because they looking at every little outburst. And this is not to be mistaken by the person who doing the hitting to the person. That ain't got nothing to do with, don't mistake that because that's still past too. And guess what you're doing? You're hurting yourself. You're paining yourself. Even though you're trying to put pain on somebody else, you hurting and paining yourself trying to do that. Constantly trying to hit them and hit them. But that's not to be mistaken by that because that's different. That's causing that's causing an act out on someone else, meaning your outburst. And you're not supposed to be with outbursts. So it's not about the act. You need to be going in so that you can actually be living this life. And a lot of people think that you gotta have a certain thing in order to be living this life. Like, you can still be living this life regardless of what other people think. I really don't care what other people think. I'm still living this life regardless of what you're talking about. Every time I walk outside, I'm living this life. Every time I do a video, I'm living this life. I see in the spiritual realm that this is helping other people. I am helping other people, even though it may not seem on the surface. I'm still saving a soul. So regardless of how a person feel about it, I'm still saving a soul. So, okay. And it's done gradually, and everything works, because you don't want to do this all willy-nilly. You don't want to do this all willy-nilly. You want to take your time in doing this stuff so you can direct, so you can be present and direct the person in the way they're supposed to, versus doing something that, you come in and they ain't doing nothing. You can direct that according to what God have your direction to go, because you know, because you've seen it spiritually. Okay. So, so again, coming to pass, it's a little different than, and I'm not a preacher. I'm more so of I'm a teacher. I teach things. Okay, so I don't preach things. So don't get me mixed up with the preaching, because I don't sound the way a preacher would. I'm more so of a teacher. Like, I like to teach things versus preaching them. Okay, I like to teach it so that you can see what it is that's in the thing. Okay, like, and you can get what you need to get out of the words that I've just spoken, because I'm not a preacher. I'm more a teacher. Okay, so again, every day we see the act, which is the outburst, and that's living in your past, PAST. We see that every day. But when a person is coming to pass, PASS, we're not focused on the outburst, which means you're at peace. See, this will cause you to be at peace when you're not looking at the person's outburst, so that you're looking at their outburst and every outburst that they say. And it could be an outburst of their anger, frustration, sadness, happy. Like kids. Kids look at the outburst of everything a person does, so they only remember the outburst. When they get older, they get older with being unstable in their emotions. Okay, but in reality, this is why you're supposed to teach them the Bible. Train them up in a certain way, because you just can't have them to grow, because you're sparing the rod, you're spoiling the child by having them just to grow in that amount of emotional instability, where they just looking on at the outbursts of everything a person does, or every time they go outside. Like when the baby comes into the world, the first thing they look around. They looking to see what's around them. But if you take the time out to direct them by speaking to them, then they look at you. They are directed. Okay, they are directed. So now they're not just the baby when they come out, they're not just looking. That baby is directly looking at you when they have, that's called coming to pass. PASS versus coming to pass, PAST, because just looking around, that's spoiling the child, sparing the rod. Nobody's directing the child. The child, that baby just came out the womb and they're just looking around to see things. No, direct their look at you. Start talking. Start allowing them to hear your voice. Understand? Because you're training up the child in the way they should go. So start by allowing them to look at you. Direct their path to look at you. Talk. That means that you're gonna have to teach them the ways in the way of God. So watch what you teaching them. Watch what you saying to them as they are looking on at you, which is why when if a mama say something, that baby look at the mama, or if the dad say something, that baby looks at the dad. But while that person, there is a consequence to that. There is consequences to what you put in before that person, before that baby. Okay, so watch what you say. Watch out. Keep watch out on what you say and how you do things. Okay? Keep watch out on what you say and how you do things, because you want to be able to direct that child in a righteous path. The things that, according to the Bible, the things that a child of God is supposed to search for is righteousness and meekness. Those are the main two things that a person of God is supposed to be searching. If you want to search for anything, in the word search, if you want to search for anything, you want to search for these two things. These two things. I don't care about the other things, but these main two things you need to be searching for. And that is righteousness and meekness. You understand? Those are the main two things out of all the things in the Bible that you are to be searching for. And I do mean searching for. Searching for. And that is righteousness and meekness. Those two words. And everything else will be added to that. Everything else will be added to righteousness. After you're seeking righteousness, these main two things, seeking righteousness and meekness, after you seek after these two things, meaning you searching for those two things, meekness and righteousness, after you are searching for those two things, everything else will be added to that. Everything will be added to that. But that's the main thing you ought to be searching for. Righteousness and meekness. Because your whole living process depends on it. Okay, your whole living process depends on it. How else can you discern if you're not searching for these things in people, places, or things? Righteousness on one end and meekness on the other. You got a beginning and an ending, okay? So you want to be looking for those things, and this is according to discernment, okay? I'm teaching discernment as well, every day, all day. And what I speak, I'm just saying that it's about the discernment today. But I've said it before that that discernment is something too that I spoke about in a video a long time ago. But I'm saying it again. Basically, I'm saying it again. It's about placing yourself in the land of the living. You understand? So the beginning and the end Alpha and Omega, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. You got to always be placing yourself in the place of the living, the land of the living, and not the dirt, okay? Not the dust. What places you in the dust is the outburst. That places you in the dust. Okay. You're gonna be under the grave, okay? You're gonna be under there. You're gonna be stuck in there. It's gonna be mud after mud after mud built up in your steps because you stepping in it. You're basically stepping in that mud. And the more, the deeper you go, you're under the grave. You're in the grave. So you are to be walking on the land of the living. You cannot pay attention to people and their acts, their outbursts. You can't do that. That is not the truth. That is a lie. If you continue to look on at a person and how they act, you will never grow. How will you ever find peace if you're looking at the appearance of how a person acts? That's their outburst. They outburst anger, outburst frustration, outburst sadness, outburst pity, outburst complaining, gossiping, murmuring, outburst fear, outburst uh uh suicide. They outburst. And it's not about the outburst, it's about the steps. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have a dream, most majority of the time, you dream something before it happens, right? You don't dream something while it's happening. You dream something about the next step that could be happening before it happens, right? Okay, so that's what you're doing. You're living in steps. Okay, that's the only thing that can place you in discerning a thing. You cannot discern a thing while living in the dead. You're living in the dead by looking on at someone's acts. No, that person, if that person is suicidal, that means that that person had some steps before the act. And if you really look at that, that's wrong for you that's wrong for you. You know how they say that it's wrong that you say what you're saying, but if you're not conscious of what I'm saying, you will not know. It's wrong when you just only looking at the act. That's wrong. Why didn't you look at the steps that was made before the act even happened? And why are you still looking at the act, which is causing you not to make the next move, and you still stuck there looking at the act, not knowing what to do with the act, because you're still stuck there looking on at the act. Which is why it's easy for a person who is in past, PASS, basically because they're coming to pass. They are here, they the past, present, and they in the future. So they know exactly what to do with that person who is basically could be in suicide, could be in death. Okay, they know exactly what to do with that person who is in death because they already saw it coming, and now it's there, and then they'll know what to do. Okay, so that's why the Father say, do. He says, have faith in the work and do. Do you understand? And do, because doing is the future. You have to do. There are that you being, let's just say, 3 places at once, even though that don't sound right. Okay. But in order to discern, you got to know that this is truth and it's in the Bible. God was here And he was here, he is here, and he is to come. So you got to understand that your spirit, same way, even though your flesh in one spot. Now, yeah, this is spooky stuff. Even though your flesh is in one spot, you got to know your spirit is everywhere. Past, present, and future, specifically. So know that you gotta be where you're supposed to be, and then do, because the do, even though that word is do, the do is the future. The future is do. Okay, that's why he said, and then do. Okay, then do, because do is the future. So so the past is okay. He shows you what's going on before the situation happened. That's the past. And then uh and then the present. Then the present meaning you're present in what's going on, but then you do, which is the future. Then you in the future of doing something about it. You're in the future of doing something about it. And then you do. You do. You just do. So whenever you hear the Bible say do and then do or do, that means that you have a future. You can't stay stuck there. Past, P-A-S-T. You can't bring the past to the present, and you sure cannot bring the past, P-A-S-T, to the future. You can't bring the past any other than that. You're just living in death. You're living in death. If you're bringing the past, your past, and then you're still stuck there for the present, and then you're still stuck in the past for the future, you're bringing all this stuff with you, and you're dead. You're still dead because you're still stuck in the past, P-A-S-T. But if you're coming to past, you are past, and you don't bring that past to the present, because you're present, you're there, and you don't bring the present to the future, because when you're in the future, you're in the future. Okay? And which is why I saw my future self looking around. And I don't mean to be funny, but she had her hair done. She had her hair done in the little ponytails that I like. And it was just swinging. And she was dressed normal, you know. She was a good looking girl, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Hey, she was great. I love her. And she had her gray hair. There you go, girl. But which is why I saw my future self. Okay, because you can live in these, when you're living in all of that, the past, present, and future, that's called living. But if you're bringing the past to the future, and if you're bringing the past to the present, and you're bringing the past to the future, you're dead. You're dying. You're dying, and you're dying slowly. A slow suicidal death in the spirit. That's what you're doing. You're dying, or you're not in the land of the living. You're not in the land of the living. Okay? You're just not. You're not in the land of the living when you're bringing your past to your present and your past to your future. What you are doing is creating a shadow that's going to be your future before you. The future is going to be in the past and you're not doing anything. And what's that is? Smoke. That's smoke. Understand? The dead being birthed like that for your future is smoke. It's no shadow. That's shadow there. There's no spirit present. But what you understand, if you bring the spirit present and basically, I'm gonna say this again, you in three places at once, like God is past, present, and future. He was here, he is here, and he is to come. He in three places at once. So can your spirit be in three places at once? Duh. Because God, Jesus is his son. Three places at once. That's how your spirit is, because God is the spirit. He put his spirit in us. It ain't ours. He put his spirit in us. So we are spirit and in truth. So we can be in three places at once because it's not really us. It's his spirit that he placed in us once we became a part of flesh. Once we became a part of flesh, God put his spirit in our flesh. So it's not like we live in we human because of what we see. We see this human thing, but at the same time, again, we know flesh mess up. It's messy. Not mess up, but it's messy. And I keep saying mess up in the English language, kind of confusing me, whatever, but forget about that, okay? Just know what I'm saying. But yes, the flesh is messy. It's very messy, okay? It will pass all over you, PAST, all over you. But when you're coming to pass, you can then, like I saw myself, you can look at your spirit future self that's due. The due is the future, meaning that you are in the future and you're able to look on at your present self because you are present. You in the land of the living. You are living. So you're able to do. So you're already doing when you're living. And when you're living past, present, and future, you already do. You already do the DO. If you in the future, you already do. So the people think that it's like you got to do so much for that. No. All you got to do is just live in peace. Live in peace in your passing, meaning you still got to take the steps. Okay. That's not excusing that. You still got to take the steps that you need and then see how to do, because you're gonna be stuck in the past if you don't know what to do. Which to do is the future. Again, if I say do, think of the word future, future. When I say do, think of future, because that's what do is. Do is future. So you're doing the future. Okay, doing is future in it. Like I always say, you're future in it. I'm putting the it on there because that brings it to life. You're future in it. Okay, not featuring it. You're futuring it. So, hey, that's the do. The do is you're futuring it. Because the steps, if it's all about the steps, and the steps will bring you to peace, it will bring you to oneness, then every step is numbered according to the Bible. Then you are doing. And in that next step, you'll be right there where you need to be. Future, doing. Okay. All right. So, but so if you're so again, if every day we come in, we come faced with the past every day, every day. But you got to understand that if you are in the land of the living, that you will be faced with the past, PASS, every single day. And you're not worried about that. You're not trying to make an outburst about anything. You just loving it. You're living in love of things. Okay. Because when you're living in the land of the living, you are living in love of everything around you, people, places, or things. You are living in love of everything. And you can't tell me that it's not about love or it's just not about love. Please, it is. Because you're living in love of everything. When you're living in the land, when you're in the land of the living, you living in love of everything and you coming to pass. You just walking, you're taking your steps, and every step you know is numbered. Okay? Every step you know is numbered. And you're like, oh, you're just walking. And you're doing to the point where when you get to the future, you do. You do. You do. You're futuring it. Not featuring it, meaning that you got all these outbursts and you just doing some extra stuff to do what you got to do to be featured. No, you're not featuring it. You're futuring it. I mean, it's due. It's done. It's done. Understand me? It's done. So get out of here with all that. Get out of here with all that. Just be at peace, true peace, because you can never have peace with the peace that some people talk about peace. They say, be a man's peace. And some men only think about it as a physical thing, but being a man peace is being able to, if I'm going to be as a woman, I am the woman. I am a woman. So as a woman, and you are a man, and I'm not teaching a man, what am presenting me as the woman to the man. Every single day on this camera, I'm presenting a woman to the man because obviously I'm a woman. And I can't speak to a man because I'm demonstrating to them who I am in Christ. And people will look at that like, you ain't supposed to be teaching no man. I'm not teaching a man. Okay? That's not what I'm doing. I'm teaching, but I'm not teaching a man. I'm presenting myself. You understand? Like I'm presenting me to for the man to see that, okay, this is this. And then they can, in return, go back and expand on it, being that they the leader. You know what I'm saying? People look at stuff so differently when they in the world than when you actually are in the land of the living. You will notice things differently. Simple as that. You either doing this and doing it, or you just not doing it at all. Like you just stuck in it. Okay, you're stuck in it. Being stuck in it is not doing it. That's stuck. You're living stuck. You're not doing anything. You may feel like you're doing some because you're taking steps, but as long as you keep with the same stuff as you're making those steps, meaning you got mixture, meaning you're toxic. If you got some mixture in your steps and you just not in the land of the living, and as you come about, you're rising your brother up. And when I say brother, according to the Bible, it could be a sister too. Okay, could be a sister too. which is why people get off of words like that. Things are not what you think they are because of the English language. It is because of the Spirit of God and what God presents to us every single day. In the definition, his stuff is never changing, but at the same time, we see it as though it's changing. You understand? We see it as though it's changing, but his words is never changing. So if he say it shall be done, we are in operation of past, present, and future. So that means that the words are changeable for us because we are flexible. We are flexible. That's the right word to use because that's the word that God gave to me some years ago. Flexible. We being so flexible, being able to be in the past, being able to be in the present, being able to be in the future of the land of the living, not in the past, bringing the past. That's not flexibility. That's where we all mess up at. We think that we living in flexibility because we living in the past, present, and future, but you really not living in the past, present, and future if you still bringing your past to the present and you still bringing your past to the future. That's the outward look on it. You know what I'm saying? That's the outward look on it. But in spiritual truth, you're still in your past and the shadow is before you. You can't see nothing there but a shadow. That's smoke. You just swoop there. You just got there like, whoop, surprise. Okay, it wasn't a suddenly, it was a surprise that you was there, that you came there. And you're not supposed to be there. You didn't put in the work. But not, you put in the work, I'm saying, because we were all working something. Like I said last week, we all working something, but you didn't put in the work. You was of the work, but you didn't put in the work. Meaning you was working up iniquity, that work, but you wasn't putting in the work to be there before man and God. So you are like a shadow, okay? Use the Bible verses. You wasn't being able to be put there before that person, which is man, either it's a woman or a man. You wasn't put there in the future, in the due to be there. You wasn't supposed to be in the due before that person. So that means you're not to be here because you're not complete. You're not walking in that perfection. You're not walking in that completeness. You're there, but you're not there. You're dead. You're just a shadow before man and God, and you don't have the right to be there. Not one bit. So why are you there? Because you still stuck in the past, P-A-S-T, versus the P-A-S-S, meaning passing. You're not in the passing, you're in the past. So if you're not in the passing, P-A-S-S, and you're not to be there. You're there, but you're there all by yourself and you don't supposed to be there before me. And if I make a point of that again, I made several points throughout the video and I'll make another point. So that means that if you are in a relationship and you try to put yourself, you're doing things, okay, but you walking in the past, present, and future of the sight of the past, present, and future, but you still got that shadow, meaning you are not doing of God. You are in the due of yourself. So that means that you're going to be coming at that person aggressively. That means that you're going to be easily angered at anything that person does. That means that you're going to be easily frustrated at everything that person do. Or should I say act of. So because you're looking at their acts, you're looking at what's coming from them, the smoke. You're looking at the messy from their flesh, the messy. So you're just poking at them. You're poking and you're poking and you're poking and you're trying to see. You're trying to see because you're not searching for what the two things I said that you need to be searching for. And the only thing you should be searching and not still searching because you're still looking for something. Stop looking for stuff. Stop looking for it. Like I said, a man has said to me several times in a relationship, I'm looking for something. I'm still looking for something. I don't know what it is. They never know what it is. They just still looking for it. It's the outburst. It's the outburst of the person. They looking for the dead. They looking for it. They want to be able to smell it, basically. I want to smell the death aroma here. If I ain't smelling it completely, it's gotta be complete in death, not complete in the land of the living, but it's gotta be complete in death. So I'm looking for that. But the only things you are to be searching for and searching for only is the two things I said, the beginning and the end, righteousness from the beginning, meekness from the end. The only two main things you should be searching for. Stop looking for stuff because you will never find peace in looking. I'm looking. You will always want to be. So you just agitated, okay? And you're just going to be irked. You're going to be irked at every little thing because you're looking for something. You're looking for something. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man. You're just looking for something. You're looking, but you're supposed to be searching, meaning seek and you shall find. Okay, seek and you shall find. That's what that's meaning seek and you shall find. You only supposed to be searching for the found thing, which is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. That's God in everything. You're supposed to be searching for the God in everything, not the past, P-A-S-T and everything, but you're supposed to be searching for the past, meaning the present, the past, present, and future. It's never stuck. It's always searching, not looking, meaning stuck. Because in order to look at something, you stuck there looking at it. Even in order to, because you're basically staring at it. Okay? Because you're staring at it. Like if a girl with a big butt come by, you looking at it, right? You're looking. You're not searching nothing. You ain't looking for nothing. You just looking. I mean, you're not searching for anything. You're just looking. You ain't trying to go past go. You stuck just looking at her butt. You're staring, which is why the Father said, according to the Bible, man is not to stare on at anything. But if you search, you will stop staring at that butt. I'm telling you, if you're searching for something versus looking on at something. If you begin to search and you'll be like searching for righteousness in that woman, and you search for an ending, the beginning is searching for the righteousness in that woman, and the ending is the meek. If you search for the meekness in that woman, then you'll know this is not it. You'll take your staring eyes off that woman, but or figures, her figure of imaginations, and the fantasies that you will try to look on at through looking, all that fantasy building up, you'll stop doing that once you search for righteousness and meekness. Those words are very powerful. Okay, searching, that's one powerful word for meekness, righteousness, and meekness. Those are two powerful words. I'm telling you, if you incorporate that into your prayer today, search righteousness and meekness, I'm telling you, those words will direct your, as a prayer warrior, those words will direct your path. I'm telling you. And you can be able to do again. That's what I heard the Holy Spirit say. You'll be able to do again and again and again. It ain't gonna be stuck there. You'll be able to do. You'll be able to walk in the land of the living, not the land of the dead. Okay? Not the land of the dead, because ain't no land to that. That's dry bones, as I spoke about in the prior video. That's dry bone living. Okay? That ain't even life. That's death. That's dry bones. And and you was in dry bones before you was in your mother's womb, which is what I talked about in a video, where the Father is right there with you. You are of dust. You are of dust, meaning you are in the grave. Your footsteps are in the grave. And then the Father comes and breathes the breath. He breathed breath into you, and now you are formed with skin. Okay? So that means the Father knew you, knew the you before you was even in your mother's womb. You understand? That places the Father, reality, the truth of it, to being that your Father knew you before you was born, because he breathed the breath into you, which causes the skin to form around your dry bones. Okay? Because you were nothing but dry bones. You was dust. You were nothing but dust, just scattered everywhere. You know, picture just finding bones everywhere, scattered throughout the whole earth, which is really that happens, where you find dinosaur bones everywhere. That's just like human bones. Okay, you find human bones before you even came into your mother's womb. That's your findings. Was God found you before you even was placed in your mother's womb. He found you. Okay, and now you have to believe in those foundings. You know, the what they say, the founding fathers. they say in the world, the founding fathers. You got to believe in those foundings before they even put that word on it, founding fathers, because the Father had already found you. Okay, the Father already found you before you was placed in your mother's womb, and he put skin on it. Yes, he put skin on there when he breathed breath into your dry bones, which placed the dry bones in formation. It build you. You was already built, which what I say all the time. You already was built, and sometimes I might say build and don't be meaning that word sometimes, but I mean it for this time. You was already built. Okay, he built you from dry bones, so you was already built. You was already perfect, and then he placed the skin over you. So you already was made perfect. And then you was put into your mother's womb. You understand? And then you was put into your mother's womb. But the Father already knew you because he breathed breath into you and made the skin come over you. And then you was put into your mother's womb. And when you came out your mother's womb, when you came out your mother's womb, you might not have had an arm, you might not have had a leg, you might have been born out your mother's womb with mental disorders, or you might have been born out your mother's womb with all kind of stuff. But you're not understanding what I'm saying though. You was perfect before you even came into your mother's womb, because God breathed breath into your dry bones before you came in your mother's womb, and he knew you. So you was already found, and your Father already found you. You only got one. So trying to find all the other fathers of 3 and 4 generations ago, forget all that. The Father you need to be, that's already found, is through searching through righteousness and meekness. And he's coming. Okay? He coming. He's going to come. So for the YouTube, for my YouTube channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell for further information on this channel. Okay, for upcoming info on this channel. This is breaking good news. Breaking good news. And I'm here to bring to you good news through my teaching. I'm not teaching in the way that you learn teaching from teachers. I'm teaching in the way of me as a woman is presenting myself as a woman. That's it. That's it. And that's all it is to me. Just like when a man is teaching or basically directing, or should I say, directing, then that man is presenting himself. Okay? That's it. All that is just presenting themselves to the opposite. That's not like I'm teaching the opposite of me, which is a man. I am presenting to the opposite what it is about me, a woman. Because a lot of men forget about the woman. So I'm here centered to present the woman. Even though men want to look at this in a totally different eyesight, that's not how that goes, because it's not what I'm saying. Because I'm not taking anything from a man themselves by doing this. I am the helper, the helpmate. And all I'm doing is presenting what a helpmate does. And however you want to tell the story, that's on you and your life. Okay? And how you live it. If you want to stay stuck in the past of all these people and how they say things and how women say things, then you can look at the video how you discern it. Okay? And if you discern it in that way, you will never, ever see the love in anything. You will always find the hate in it every single time. And if you're finding hate in something, that means you found your past. You ain't found the present. You ain't found the future. All you did was consistently stay stuck because you're looking for something. And what you get, what you look for is what you're going to get. But what you search for, searching for righteousness and meekness, you'll understand what's really before your face. So hope you understand my word on today, my teaching on today about, is it coming to the past, P-A-S-T, or is it coming to pass, P-A-S-S. Stay tuned for more tomorrow. Oh, I also want to make a pointer, one last pointer. One more last pointer. Okay, so this going to be the one last pointer. Okay, so I want to make this pointer, and that is about this coming to pass or coming to pass topic. One day I was doing my work. I was working out in the field, and this guy just out the blue just started talking about insurance. Okay, and I'm wondering, I'm as a man and I'm a woman, and I'm like, why is he talking about insurance? Okay, so he's like, oh, do they have insurance out on you guys' cars, or do they, what kind of insurance? I mean, the only thing I'm like, oh, I get what it is. You focus on death. You focus on the past of something. You're in my car, but you're not alive. You're dead. You're dead. Because you focusing on insurance, an insurance policy out on my car because of we on the highway and your thoughts just went everywhere on us going on the highway, and so your thoughts automatically went to the past of things, whatever it is that you've seen on the news, which could be which is always the past, or whatever it is you've seen out in the world, which is the past. Whatever you've seen out and people coming at you with their outbursts, which is the past. So you just was bringing it all in my car and saying how oh, they don't give y'all insurance. And he was talking it in a nice way. He was nicely talking it. He was nicely talking it. He really was. But if you think about it, not even think about it, you don't even got to think about it, because his steps was showing it. Like his steps was obvious. And I was humble and meek and righteousness. I was searching for righteousness in the situation. And so I began to say something, which is in judgment, and it's got to be in righteous judgment. Okay, so I began to say something that's in judgment. So anything that you say is in judgment. Okay, anything that you say, anything that you do is in judgment. So however you judge a thing, if it's not in righteousness judgment, then you are in the wrong thing of judgment. Okay, you are basically in wrong judgment. So I said, oh, I simply told him, I said, I don't know what type of insurance they have out on the cars. Okay. And I didn't. So I told him instantly what it truly was. And so he said, oh, because and he just kept talking in niceness, but in the same time, everything in the judgment that he was making was not righteous. So all I'm saying is that you can tell, the word tell, you can tell how, if a person, by discerning, okay, through discernment, you can tell when a person is walking in righteousness or if they are walking in bitterness. Okay, you can tell. It don't matter how nice they do things or whatever they do in a jokingly way, because God said he don't like this old foolish joking. So you can tell by how things go in their doings, if it's in working up iniquity through their niceness, or if it's working up the land of the living in through their righteousness. Okay, you can tell. The discernment is there. So as you are picking and choosing, know that the choice has already been done. It's done. Choice is done. The choice is done. It's done. There's no need to look for anything else. It's done. Because every step will cause you peace. But every action will cause, like what they say, every action causes a reaction. But do know there is another side. Every step, though, okay? I know they taught you that every action will cause you a reaction. And then they try to tell you to calm down from the action causing a reaction. But let me tell you, how do you calm down? Every step will cause you peace. Every step that a human take before you will cause you peace. Because you'll know the difference in the making of the present, past, and the future. Because they'll be doing. If it's coming to pass, P-A-S-S, they'll be doing. Versus staying stuck in the past, P-A-S-T. So again, always be on watch out. Be on watch out, not lookout. Don't be on lookout, be on watch out. According to the Bible, the word is watch out. And how do you be on watch out? Through prayer and supplication. Supplication is only just your being in order. Prayer and supplication. Okay? And your being in order is going to do. It's doing what needs to be done. So it is complete, team. It's complete when it's doing in righteousness and meekness. So, rise up, army of God. Rise up, army. Stay tuned for more tomorrow as I get off into the topic of incest. Done in my way and doing it in a breaking good news type thing. This is some good news. The news over here, the teaching is some good stuff. Okay? Some good stuff. It'll break your actual view out on everything that you've ever been taught over here. Because we get into the supernatural of the thing, because that's the root of it all. Because we're not going to remove anything if we don't cause the spirit to discern something. You got to be able to discern it. You got to be able to know it in the spirit and in truth. Because the flesh, it's not going to teach you anything. So stay tuned for more. We're going to go about talking about incest tomorrow. Stay tuned for more. Bye-bye.